Where did it all go wrong for Ronda Rousey? Analysis after knockout by Holly Holm. Mirror Fighting looks at the deciding factors that led to Holly Holm ending Ronda Rousey's undefeated streak. Ronda Rousey is a mixed martial arts phenomena, with film star looks, a killer aura and a cool persona to match her ability. But for every #Rousey Revolution hashtag and do nothing bitch t-shirt she sells, there are armchair pundits saying Rousey is overconfident or doesn't have any striking game. For Rousey's legions of fans, last night's shocking defeat to Holly Holm was like Tyson going down to Buster Douglas. For her critics, this was the fight that finally revealed the Emperor had no clothes. Had all Rousey's previous opponents really been such a pushover, and now faced with a decent opponent, her weaknesses were exposed for the record-breaking Melbourne crowd to see. Former world boxing champion Holm danced around the judoka like Cassius Clay, pumping jab after jab into the UFC bantamweight champion. The champ looked sluggish and out of gas as she struggled to catch more than one meaningful clinch with the challenger. So how did the unstoppable monster end up being beaten inside of 2 rounds? Overconfidence. Before the fight, Ronda scoffed that she could beat any woman in her division with one hand. Did she take the challenge of the world-class puncher too lightly? Trouble in the Rowdy camp. Before UFC 193, Ronda's mother, her first coach, criticized her current coach and was not in Australia to see her daughter fight. Could trouble in the camp have caused Rousey to be agitated? Even in the weigh-in she seemed jittery and nervous. Too many irons and too many fires. Shooting movies like The Expendables, appearing on Ellen and challenging the WWE champion might be good mainstream exposure for the UFC, but is Ronda's mind on her next WrestleMania cameo when it should be on her fight? Poor striking game. A world-class judoka, Ronda has been working on her boxing skills, but her footwork still looks graceless and she's yet to throw a convincing kick. Ironically, it was a roundhouse kick to the carotid artery that ended the contest. Does Ronda need to go and study Muay Thai for a while and improve her long-range game? A lucky hit. As skilled as she is, nobody is punch-proof. Ronda took a vicious round elbow and a straight punch to the face early on, and as soon as she tasted her own blood it looked like curtains for the champion. James Edwards from MMA latest gave Mirror Fighting his perspective on the fight. Firstly, we could consider the fact that Ronda's mother wasn't in attendance at UFC 193. Now some may say this is of insignificance, but, before you do, go back and view Ronda's previous fights and look at the proximity that her mother has to Ronda during both fight week build-up and the fight night itself. Secondly, we could look in the direction of Rousey's controversial coach Edmond Tarverdyan. Several allegations have been thrown Tarverdyan's way in recent weeks, with people speaking openly about his poor coaching abilities. Thirdly, we could look at the enormous pressure Ronda is under in her everyday life. When she's not picking up awards, she's making movies. When she's not making movies, she's dissing Floyd Mayweather, attending premieres, appearing on TV. Could the rock and roll lifestyle have finally caught up with Ronda? Well, all those above are variables. Perhaps they did affect her, perhaps they didn't. Let's for 1 second focus on what we do know, and that is that at UFC 193 Ronda Rousey met an extremely well-prepared opponent who executed her game plan flawlessly. As Joe Rogan said, Holm fought a perfect fight. Jackson Winkeljohn built their game plan around using Ronda's aggressiveness against her, using Ronda's constant forward movement to her disadvantage by using Holly's strong left hand and footwork to create angles that bamboozled Ronda and forced her to miss landing her own strikes frequently. After 59 seconds of the second round, the game plan paid dividends with the stunning head kick knockout. We had ourselves a new champion. One thing is for sure, Holly Holm has big shoes to fill as the new champion.